Hello and welcome to Genius Indian. Friends, today we are going to discuss environmentalism. Environmentalism or environmental rights is a broad philosophy and an ideology regarding concerns for environmental protection and regarding the improvement of the health of the environment. Environmentalism advocates the preservation, restoration, and improvement of the natural environment and may be referred as a movement to control pollution or protect plant and animal diversity. Environmentalism is slightly different from ecology or ecologism, and the difference is that environmentalism focuses more on the environment and nature-related aspects of green ideology as well as on the politics around the environmental issues, whereas ecology is a discipline of science concerned with the relationships that living things have with each other and with their physical environment. At its simplest, environmentalism is an attempt to balance relations between humans and the various natural systems on which they depend, and to balance it in such a way that all the components are accorded a proper degree of sustainability. Environmentalism and environmental concerns are often represented by green color, but this association is often appropriated by the smart marketing managers and hustlers, and they do this in order to dupe the green consumers. This is a tactic known as greenwashing, which is a euphemism on brainwashing. Environmentalism is opposed by anti-environmentalism, which says that the earth is less fragile than some environmentalists maintain and claims that the environmentalists are overreacting to the human contribution to climate change. In general terms, environmentalists advocate the sustainable management of resources and the protection and restoration of the natural environment through changes in public policy and individual behavior. While environmentalism is a recent movement in the West, here in our country it has been rooted in our psyche since millennia. The phrase Vasudhaiv Kutumbhakam, which is considered one of the most important moral values in Indian society, tells us that one person's actions affect all living beings on the planet as well as the environment of the planet. It also tells us that we will be able to live happily and peacefully only when all of us human beings consider this planet Earth as one big family, one big kutumbh. In addition to this concept, Jainism also gave birth to some of the earliest ideas of environmental protection. Jainism, which was revived by Lord Mahavir in the 6th century BC, offers a worldview that aligns with core values associated with the environmental activism. For example, while Jainism talks of non-violence and protection of life, today's environmentalists talk of protection of environment. Similarly, Hinduism talks of a symbiosis between all living beings and the 5 elements which are earth, water, air, fire and space. And again, this is something that is actively campaigned by the current breed of environmentalists. As you can understand, in ancient India, the concept of environmentalism was cleverly woven inside the fabric of religious philosophy. However, in our day-to-day life, we human beings generally understand the true value of something only after we lose it. We understand the importance of some person after the person is no longer a part of our life. Similarly, we human beings have begun to understand the value of environment only after we have noticed the dangers of damaging the environment. And initially, this is what spurred the Europeans towards the concept of environmentalism. For example, King Edward I banned the burning of sea coal in London by proclamation in year 1272 after the coal smoke had become a problem. The real origins of the environmental movement were visible in response to increasing levels of smoke in the atmosphere during the Industrial Revolution. The emergence of massive factories and the subsequent growth in coal consumption gave rise to an unprecedented level of air pollution in all those industrial centers. After year 1900, the large volume of industrial chemical discharges added to the growing load of untreated human waste. A whole lot of it ended up in the rivers. This was the reason why most European rivers were contaminated during the 20th century, and why Thames at that time was called a Great Sink, and why Rhine was called the bin of Europe. In industrial cities, local experts and reformers, especially after year 1890, took the lead in identifying environmental degradation and in initiating grassroots movements to demand the reforms. Those early environmentalists at that time were most concerned about water and air pollution. However, polluting factories more or less continued in spite of their pioneering efforts. It was only when the Great Smog of 1952 hit London City and almost brought the city to a standstill, as well as caused more than 6,000 deaths, that the Clean Air Act of 1956 was passed and airborne pollution in the city was tackled for the first time. Consequently, financial incentives were offered to householders to replace open coal fires with alternative fuels. Environmentalism has come a long way since the days of Indus Valley civilization and since the edicts of Lord Mahavir. Today, environmentalism has become such a huge movement that it has even influenced the popular culture. For example, Miss Earth is one of the big 4 international beauty pageants which are organized regularly. The other 3 are Miss Universe, Miss International, and Miss World. Out of these, Miss Earth is the only beauty pageant that promotes environmental awareness. And because of its focus, the reigning title holders dedicate their year to promote specific projects and often address issues concerning the environment. And they do this through school tours, tree planting activities, speaking engagements, environmental fairs, and other environmental activities. The Miss Earth winner is the spokesperson for the Miss Earth Foundation, the United Nations Environment Programme, and other environmental organizations. The Miss Earth Foundation also works with the environmental departments and ministries of participating countries. The current national pageant, which chooses the Indian representative for Miss Earth, is Miss Divine Beauty of India, and the reigning Miss Divine Beauty title holder and Miss Earth India is Tejaswini Manogna. And of course, while talking of the popular culture, we must not forget the greatest showman of Bollywood, Raj Kapoor, who way back during 1980s raised the issue of river contamination through his memorable film Ram Teri Ganga Maili. So friends, this was a brief intro to the topic of environmentalism. In the next episode, we will discuss yet another topic important for our personal and professional growth. So please don't miss it. And the best way not to miss it is to subscribe to Genius Indian channel. And the best way to spread the knowledge is to like and share the video. And the best way to improve the quality of the work is to provide your valuable feedback. And finally, the best way to end this conversation is to thank you for your valuable time. Thanks for watching.